Welcome back. It is episode number 6 of the Let's Learn Angular series, where I record myself learning in real time with as few edits as I can possibly get away with. That way you can see me get tripped up on things and struggle and see how I come to grips with whatever problems I encounter, and hopefully that's beneficial to you. So we left off yesterday, about halfway through the 4th section of the Tour of Heroes tutorial on the Angular website. We just finished setting up a service, and we learned a little bit about the dependency injection system that Angular has. And we injected that service, and we called that service to get our heroes instead of using that mock data. And I think that's basically it, right? We learned what a service was, a little bit about what a injector is and a provider. I'm still not 100% clear on like the relationship between all these pieces. It's still kind of confusing, the way that they worded in the tutorial, but hopefully those things will become more clear as we go through. If not, maybe at the end of all this, we'll cycle back and we'll revisit and see if we can get a better understanding of it all. So that being said, we are on to observable data. I'm going to just check out where we left off here in the code editor. I mean, this is almost cliche at this point. Like I keep, it's like every video I forget to commit at the end. But that's okay. So we're just gonna, this will be a quick review of what we did in the last one. So what did we do? We updated, oh, this is just a style change. There's like a missing comma, so that's nothing crazy. What happened here? This is our hero component. So we used to pull heroes from that mock heroes class, which was exporting some hard-coded heroes. But now, instead of our component knowing how to get heroes directly, like how we were doing down here, we actually get it from our hero service, which we're importing. And that hero service gets automatically injected by Angular's DI. And then the on init, I guess we learned about this yesterday too. The constructor is a place where we could have said like, we could have set our heroes here in the constructor. But as the tutorial mentioned, ng on init is actually a proper lifecycle hook and is the preferred way to get things, especially if it's asynchronous data, which potentially in the real world, this get heroes method on our on our hero service would probably be asynchronous. So yeah, that's what we did. And I will just say refactor to use heroes service to fetch list. Close that off. We don't need that tree open anymore, and we'll jump back into the tutorial and let's carry on. So the hero service.getHeroes method has a synchronous signature, which implies that the hero service can fetch heroes synchronously. The heroes component consumes the getHeroes result as if heroes could be fetched synchronously. Like this. So this will not work in a real application. You're getting away with it now because the service currently returns mock heroes, but soon the application will fetch heroes from a remote server, which is an inherently asynchronous operation. The hero service must wait for the server to respond. GetHeroes cannot return immediately with hero data, and the browser will not block while the service waits. So hero service.getHeroes must have an asynchronous signature of some kind. Whoops, there I go, hitting the side button on my mouse again. We are, where was that? Right here. Must have asynchronous signature of some kind. In this tutorial, hero service.getHeroes will return an observable because it will eventually use an Angular HTTP client.get method to fetch the heroes, and HTTP client.get returns an observable. Excuse me. So, assuming we are about to learn about observables, this is something I'm going to add to our glossary, even though I kind of already know what an observable is, and the topic is probably bigger than what we want to put in here, but let's do it anyway. So, like, basically my understanding of an observable is, I mean, we'll probably update this definition in a little bit, but it's like a stream of streams, which if you haven't worked with them before, that probably didn't make a ton of sense, but hopefully it will as we work through this series here. So, observable is one of the key classes in the RxJS library. In a later tutorial on HTTP, you'll learn the Angular's HTTP client methods return RxJS observables. In this tutorial, you'll simulate getting data from the server with the RxJS of function. Open the hero service file and import the observable and of symbols from RxJS. So I'm just going to copy that import. We're going to go over to our hero service class, which is this one here. We'll do that. I'm gonna delete the semicolons here. Actually, how do I thought I did this in an earlier video. Format document with prettier. Maybe it's because I don't have a pretty RC, so it's like not opinionated enough to, yeah, it doesn't want to remove or add semicolons. That's fine. I might do that just off camera. It's starting to drive me crazy. So replace the get heroes method with the following. So now our get heroes method is going to return observable of a hero array, is how you would read that. So let's grab this, switch on over to the service, and we will replace that. So yeah, now we're pulling in this fancy of thing. It says, what does it say? Ooh, it's deprecated apparently. Use scheduled instead. Maybe we'll look into that later. Doesn't give much of a definition, so that's fine. Let's let the tutorial tell us about it. Of heroes returns an observable of hero array that emits a single value, the array of mock heroes. Okay. So in the HTTP tutorial, you'll call HTTP client.get of hero array, which also returns an observable of hero array. That emits a single value, an array of heroes, from the body of the HTTP response. So subscribe in heroes component. The hero service.getHeroes method used to return a hero array. Now it returns an observable of hero array. You'll have to adjust to that difference in heroes component. Find the getHeroes method and replace it with the following code shown side by side with the previous version for comparison. So we've got the original, no observable. Now our component needs to handle that observable, so we do the hero service get heroes, which returns an observable, which apparently we can call subscribe on. And it looks like subscribe takes a callback function, which gets passed the result. And when that result resolves, we're just saying, let's set this heroes to whatever the result of that asynchronous thing is. So let's copy that, switch back over to our editor and open up the heroes component TS file. And yeah, you can already see there's a type error here because now that we updated the type that this returns an observable of hero array, it's no longer compatible with just hero array. So let's replace that method with the code that they gave us. And this is looking pretty good, except that semicolon. Get it out of there. All right. Observable.subscribe is the critical difference. The previous version assigns an array of heroes to the component's the component's heroes property The assignment occurs synchronously, as if the server could return heroes instantly or that the browser could freeze the UI while it waited for the server's response. That won't work when the hero service is actually making requests of a remote server. The new version waits for the observable to emit the array of heroes, which could happen now or several minutes from now. The subscribe method passes the emitted array to the callback, which sets the component's heroes property. This asynchronous approach will work when the hero service requests heroes from the server. So yeah, I guess this should... I'm still running this, by the way, on localhost 4200. Just refresh this to make sure everything is good, but I'm pretty sure it was in watch. Oh, maybe not. I may have quit the dev server. That's okay. Let me open up our terminal, and we will do ng serve -- open. That should open up a new tab for us now, and I'll just close out that old one. So yeah, looks like we're compiling without any errors, and everything seems to be working as it did before. Great. So let's move on. I'm just kind of thinking if there's anything. I mean, this is a lot. This is some dense stuff. But having been familiar with RxJS in the past, this I understand it so far. In the past, this stuff was hard for me to wrap my head around for whatever reason. Not specifically this stuff, but I think more once you get into applying these things into your templates, and just more complicated scenarios with observables. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna move forward to this section here. So show messages. This section guides you through the following: adding a message component that displays application messages at the bottom of the screen, creating an injectable app-wide message service for sending messages to be displayed, injecting message service into the hero service, and displaying a message when hero service fetches heroes successfully. So let's create messages component. We'll use the CLI, and I'm just going to type this by hand for sake of practice. Open up a new terminal down here. And I did see a tip yesterday that you can actually... Can you right click on these? You can rename. So I could keep this one as like I could just call it ZSH if I wanted, but let's say I wanted to say that this is the dev server, just for the sake of organization. And you can give them colors. I like that one being green for some reason. Let's make this one, what do we want this one? Ooh, cyan, nice. And I'm just gonna actually keep them closed like that. Okay, so I was going to generate I believe a new component, right? That's what I asked for, component called messages. So ng generate component messages or messages. Cool. All right. Let's carry on. So the CLI creates the component files in the source/app/messages folder and declares the messages component in app module. Modify the app component template to display the generated messages component. Cool, yeah, so I'm gonna grab that. And yeah, in the past, every time we generate a new component, I usually come here and take a look. But I think we've gotten used to what the generate command does, so we won't worry about that this time. I did forget to commit what we did with the hero service, so I'm gonna commit this, or sorry, stage this, and also the hero component, and just say refactor hero service to use observable. Okay, and then this spot here, as we've seen other times before, it registers the new component for us automatically in the app module and then stubs it all these blank, well, not necessarily blank, but stubs it all these files. So we will just say generate messages component. So now that that's all committed, let's just close a couple files to keep things nice and tidy, and let's go to our new messages component template, and I'll delete that, and then I'll paste what it told me to, and we'll go back into the tutorial. So oh wait, it wanted me to do this in the app component. Sorry, I did this in the wrong one. So well, that's okay. Undo that. We'll go to the app component template. And oh, I guess I'm just adding a new line, app messages. So let's go app messages. Okay, so that's added to our app component template now. And if I go here, we can see our component is rendering in the bottom, which isn't doing anything crazy right now. It's just that paragraph tag that got created when we generated it using the generate command. Okay, so yeah, we should see the default paragraph, yada, yada, yada. Create the message service. Use the CLI to create the message service in source/app. Again, just for the sake of getting hands-on practice with the CLI, I'm gonna not bother copying and just type this. So ng generate service, and then whatever the name of the service was, I kind of forget already. As you can tell, my short-term memory is terrible. Ng generate service message. What did I do? Did I spell generate wrong? Ng generate service message. Great. And yeah, we should have got some stuff here. And I did forget to commit that we updated that, but so let's just say update, or rather add messages component to app template. And then here, we've got our spec file, which we're not worried too much about yet because we haven't gotten to testing. We got our services stubbed out, and I forgot to commit this one. That's fine. Whatever. Not too concerned about the Git history, obviously. But it's nice just to keep the habit of trying to keep things clean and organized. Get that terminal out of the way. And so yeah, we'll just commit that we generate the message service. Close that, close that. And let's see, what does it say to do? Open message service and replace its contents with the following. So like any other service in Angular, we've got the injectable that we import, the decorator, and we're registering that with the root injector. Did I get that terminology right? And this is just a class called message service, and so the things that are different here is that we have a messages property, which is an array of strings. We have an add method, which takes a message of type string, and that just pushes whatever the message is onto our messages array. And we have a clear method, which just clears out the messages array. Seems straightforward enough, so let's go to the message service, and I will just replace everything with what's in my clipboard. And let's go back to the tutorial. The service exposes its cache of messages in two methods, one to add a message to the cache and another to clear the cache. Inject it into the hero service. Okay, so in hero service, we need to import the message service. I'm just going to copy that import and go on over to our hero service. And I will import that. And I can already guess what I'm probably going to have to do. So just for the sake of practice, let's do this. Let's go private message service type is going to be message service. That's going to make it available. And that's exactly what it asked us to do next. So yeah, this is a typical service and service scenario. You inject the message service into the hero service, which is injected into the heroes component. So send a message from hero service. Modify the get heroes method to send a message when the heroes are fetched. So we're gonna go to that get heroes method in the service class. And the message is gonna be hero service fetched heroes. So we'll go down here. We'll just say this dot message service dot add, and we're gonna say hero service fetched heroes, spelt properly this time too. I see some semicolons. All right, display the message from hero service. The messages component should display all messages, including. Oh, actually, you know what? This should already. Oh no, this isn't gonna work yet because we didn't update the template, right? So as we are clicking around, in theory, that messages array is actually getting filled up. But we're not console logging it anywhere, and we're not rendering it on the template. So let's back here. And yeah, so open messages component and import the message service. Okay. Wait, which component? The message component? Yeah, message component. Not the template. Message component TS, there we go. MCT. And we need to import that. Actually, a faster way to bring that in would be to just jump down to the constructor. And you can just go private. We want it to be the message service of type message service. Why is it not showing up? Here we go. And if you tab complete that, VS Code will automatically import it with the semicolon. Get rid of those. Get rid of that garbage. All right. Modify the constructor with a parameter that declares a public message service property. Oh yeah, so this needs to be public this time, because we're probably gonna use this inside of our template. So let's just say public. Get it right one of these times. And okay, so that has to be public, and the message service property must be public because you're gonna bind it in the template. Called it. All right, Angular only binds to public component properties. It's good to know. Bind to the message service. Replace the CLI generated messages. Actually, you know what? Let's this is a good little thing to just take note of and remember. I could see like if you added a property or anything to your component and you weren't having access to in the template, that'd be like I can see that being a common error that you would see, and this is I guess how you would fix it. So let's just go down, take notes on the templating system. Not sure what you call it. Let's just say note. Actually, why don't we do it's a cool little thing you can do in Notion. Remember what you call it? Not a quote. Is it a call out? Yeah, call out. Boom. Fancy, right? All right, let's go back in here. So we're going to bind the message service, replace the CLI generated message component template with the following. So we're saying if the message service.messages length, we will render, whoops, didn't mean to click that. We will render this. This is, what's going on here? Why do we have an extra closing div? Am I counting this properly or is this formatted weird? We got one div, two divs, and then, so it's just formatted kind of weird. Oh, it's wrap, I see. It's just wrapping. But yeah, so if the messages length, basically if there are no messages, we don't render any of this. If there are messages, then we render out a title and then a button. Looks like it's going to be used for clearing the messages, so we're going to have that event, I guess, event listener attribute. I can't remember what they call this syntax exactly. We're basically binding to the click event, and we're saying when that event happens, we're going to call this handler. In this case, now this is one thing, I guess, a little different than what you might be used to in, say, like React. Like React, you would pass the method and that would get, like, you pass the function that gets invoked, but we're actually just calling this directly. We don't need to do like an anonymous function here and then call the thing we want to do. But anyway, so we clear the messages. We've got our for loop, which is just doing each message of our message services message, and we're just rendering out that message, which is just a string. So that all is making sense to me. I'm just gonna copy this because I don't feel like typing it all out, but feel free to do that if you feel compelled. All right. Cool. So that makes sense to me. So if we go down here, I'm actually expecting at this point that if I do anything, oh yeah. No, I guess right now the only thing we're logging is when we fetch the heroes. So that makes sense that would be there. I could clear messages, and I won't be able to see that message again unless I refresh the page and we refetch heroes and we see it there. Okay. So yeah, the template binds directly to the component's message service. The ngIf only displays the messages area if there are messages to show. The ng4 presents the list of messages in repeated div elements. An Angular event binding, oh, that's what we call that, event binding. I kind of want to capture that as one of our terms. So let's go down here. Because we got property binding, which is like the square syntax. Oh yeah, looks like, right? So you got your component thingy, and then you've got the prop name, and then the some value, right, that you want to pass into it. Looks like that. All right, and then we also have something called event binding, which is a slightly different syntax. Yeah, binds an element or component to an event. Looks like you got your, we'll just say thing click equals, and we'll just say handler thing. Oops, spelled that wrong. That's okay. Back. All right. The messages will look better when you add the private CSS styles to messages.component.css as listed in one of the final code review tabs below. Cool. So we'll worry about that later. Add additional messages to hero service. So the following example shows how to send and display a message each time the user clicks on a hero, showing a history of the user's selections. This will be helpful when you go to the next section on routing. Also one of our learning objectives. Cool. So, this is our heroes component. Wait. Just wants me to copy all of this. I think the only difference is this line here, right? We're saying on select, we are going to add a message. So let's go back over here. This is our heroes component. So at this point we're using the service in 2 places. So this is a great demo of like how to create reusable code in Angular. I love this. But now we want to bring message service into a third place, our heroes component. So let's go over here. We're gonna say private messages, or sorry, not messages, but just message service, which is gonna be of type message service. I tab completed that, so it should be auto imported at the top here. You can see that. And then if I don't have anything to do down here actually. This should be working. So this .messages.service, we're gonna add this message, hero component selected hero ID, and then we're just using string native JavaScript string interpolation to just get the ID off of whatever the selected hero may be. So let's go. I haven't been committing along the way here either, so let's maybe let's do that really quick. Actually, I'll just check to make sure that this is still working before I commit anything. I keep refreshing this out of habit, but I don't need to. So we got our fetched heroes, so that's the our hero service, which is pulling in our message service and pushing that. And then if I select something, our hero component should be pushing a message. Heroes component, selected hero ID 18. If I select this one, ID 11. Looks great, right? Okay. Yeah, how do I summarize all of this? I'm getting a little lazy with my commits, if you haven't noticed. We'll just say, use the message service in all the things and places. That's great. Close a few of these tabs, it's getting crazy. All right. We did that. Don't think there was anything else. I think that was it, just that line. So yeah, refresh the browser to see the list of heroes. See, this is why I keep refreshing the browser. Damn tutorial keeps telling me, refresh the browser. So it's not my fault. To see the list of heroes and scroll to the bottom to see the messages from the hero service. Each time you click a hero, a new message appears to record the selection. Use the clear messages button to clear the message history. We already tried that. We don't need to do it again. And here is all the stuff that we can review. I'm not going to go through all of this. Not really much of a point, in my opinion, other than this guy. All these CSS styles. So we can jump over here and we're going to open up that message component template, or sorry, style sheet. Just paste that in there. And if we go back to our, excuse me, we go back to our app. Wow, look at it, it's so pretty. It's not though, but it's definitely nicer than it was before. It's perfect. All right. So we've got the messages section. It's all styled. We can clear messages. We can click on heroes. Messages show up in the bottom here. This is looking pretty close to our finished application, minus I guess what do we still have to do? There's going to be a details instead of a details section. There's going to be an actual details page for a hero, right? And then I think there's going to be some like a navigation menu in the top. I don't remember if there was anything else. But I guess we'll find out in the next video. So thanks for watching. Don't forget, hit that like button if you liked this video, and please consider subscribing. Also, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can find me, Dan Fletcher Dev, and catch one of my streams sometime on Twitch under the username The Original Fletch. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, bye.